my very beautiful friend told me something that means so much to me, and it's getting me into the subject of revealing secrets. Now, if something has gone on very long ago, it means that the telling of the secret that wasn't known to anyone before means that the whole of the history is going to need to be rewritten in everyone's minds who was there. And now there's new information, and it means that it'll need time for to realize how everything is actually different from the way that it was experienced. So I have experienced this before. A few years ago, about 9 years ago, I received something about my own life that was a secret before, and then like it had to rewrite my whole life. And it took years. And every time I would realize about a situation that apparently was different now, and it's like in Dutch we have this expression of quarters falling in, like little coins, like dropping into the consciousness, and you feel them drop, and that's symbolizing that it's a metaphor for suddenly you know the truth is different than what you thought before. The absolutely magnificent, bizarre and wonderful thing about realizing later what the truth is of a situation, it actually brings a lot of logic. That's been my experience. I never go prying into stories to like saying, oh, this must be different because it's not logical, but it is my experience from just finding out secrets that have been kept for years and years and years, that when you find out the truth or something closer to the truth, things start to really make sense. It starts to be logical why a person was reacting in a certain way. Things start to make sense, really. Things start to get to the size that they should actually be. Like my experience is that the way someone would have reacted, that it's like you might say, before you know what has actually happened, you might think, this person is being so dramatic. And why is it such a huge deal? But then when you later understand the truth, it's a whole different thing. It becomes, oh my gosh, this person is actually reacting in a completely natural, logic way if this is what the truth was. Especially if people have been having to carry the truth all alone. The pressure of that is so high. It is very difficult sometimes for the human psyche to really carry secrets. My past 2 weeks has been so up with the revelation of secrets. In many different parts of my life, there have been like things coming to light and giving me the opportunity to understand what really happened. I am now looking at human design, and I'm realizing that this can be very specific to my energy. The fact that, because I can really feel that because I've transformed myself, because every challenge that came my way, that I managed to transform my perspective, that those that I've become a different person, and that I'm attracting different things. And I really feel that things are coming to light because I'm a different person, because now, you know, I want to talk to specifically the people who are, let's say, cycle breakers, the people who in their ancestral lineage have a lot of problems happening, stuckness, things that are traumatizing or have been traumatizing. That I mean, honestly, when I came into this world, the first few years of my life, I was just looking around as this little child and thinking, oh God, there's so much going on and there's so much that needs to be fixed. I was then, of course, still very close to my my nature. I mean, that's how I see it. And the more I came into the world, the more I learned about the world, the more I was like, this is so much, there is so much wrong with this. And realizing that every little action that people are taking that is actually not right, not correct, creates more and more chaos, creates down the line so many problems. And so that's why I guess I'm talking, because ignorance has consequences. And I've had to forgive so much also, you know, coming into life, you don't really get to not have an impact, and we all are ignorant in ways. So there is also this inherent, like, you need to come to this space of forgiving yourself in order to start having compassion for others, and know that we can't remain in this purely we're doing everything perfect and right. And yeah, it's such a heavy burden to also realize that being human is imperfection, and that brings also this humility that I will not be able to have that kind of perfection that maybe in the mind is present, like, if I just do everything perfectly, you know, even that can create chaos, because there isn't the heart and the surrender to what this life on earth is, that there is suffering. And in a video before, I was talking about the breaking of the heart, and it's still traveling with me, that concept. That yeah, I'm having sadness and anger over so many things. But it's just like, that's just emotion. That's the emotion is just helping me to truly be in reality. That I don't get to have that rational perfection. But anyway, I come back to this, you know, what I'm experiencing right now. So I just want to tell you a lot of things about how these experiences are for me, so that you might, when you're going through it, or when you know other people going through something like this, that you can understand some of these aspects. One thing that I find very beautiful is that I'm getting more intimate with the process of what it means to receive secrets that are that have impacted lives. It is the most recent ones. There's been so many different ways in which secrets have been revealed, some that I'm angry about and that I have had to just release and realize, like, this is someone's secret that it really impacted me, but now I am not so much in this person's life, so I can just let it be. And if they don't want to take more responsibility of being honest and truthful, it just really annoys me, the ignorance that people don't see, like how much chaos that is causing for other people in their lives. And they think, usually when people have a secret, they think it's this one thing, or you can only have a very limited perspective of really what the consequences of keeping secrets is. I don't want to, judge situations that I don't know about. So there might be secrets that are not able to be, revealed. But the things that have been coming in my life, I am so emotional and angry about, the limitations that people will accept, so that people can feel more okay, and more and have less fear or feel more comfortable in their skin. And it's like, the consequences of keeping secrets are so big, and that even people who are pressuring others to be a certain way, to be like, to adhere to social standards, like, please, everyone, find communities and people in your life who can accept messiness, who are genuinely curious about your experiences, so that you're able to speak out about things that are living and lurking in your shadows, in your own, shadows. I'm telling you, since I've started talking about the things that I might not be perfect in, that I find very cringe about myself, the more compassionate I am able to be, and the more compassion I'm seeing around me just from me doing this. I don't know if it happened because I did that, but definitely doors are opening to me to be able to be more honest. And my experience is really, life gets better, has more chances to thrive, like the river of life force energy is able to flow more. I mean, the challenges don't stop, because that's the thing with being a cycle breaker. Like, my energy, I get annoyed by this, but it's just the energy of my life. Like, when I'm in a situation where people are trying to not be honest, my energy just kind of conflicts with that. And yeah, it's a kind of a very sacred job for me to keep myself safe. But part of that goes through being transparent. And by being transparent, I do create space for those who are ready to be honest and transparent, therefore, can come forward and can have a space where they can be safe, and it's hard, because it's not just, I'm also learning, and we have so much conditioning that, for me, I'm like this human design 1-3 line. So before I experience a thing, I don't really know whether what is ultimately best, but I do know that we have to get into the process. We have to land into the place where the change is actually able to happen. And this is for all 1-3 profiles. This is what we do. And so, yeah, making this video is part of my energy of expression, so that I can give to other people how this is working. All right, I'm starting to get a little bit stale. I might start to repeat myself, so I'm just gonna look for my energy a little bit. Whew. It is not easy to be a cycle breaker. It sounds heroic, and I think it really is. But the amount of, it's like you're a shit clearer, you know? It's like your job is this going through the gutter where all the shit gets dumped, and being the one that sorts out and going like, no, I can't accept this. And I find that I have to deal with so much like people not wanting for, you know, to deal with the shit, because obviously that's what people have been trying to not deal with. But yeah, even now, understanding this specific secret that has now been really revealed through my friend, and just seeing the backdrop of how much wasn't being wasn't known, wasn't being spoken about, wasn't in everyone's viewer, that we can actually know what we're talking about and what we're dealing with, and like people not even starting to deal with what's going on. And that I've been so angry with people, like, how can you not deal with this and that and that and that? It's like, it's pissing me off. It's having an influence on my life. And now just realizing, oh wait, this super important thing was not being dealt with, and it's just part of a pattern. So these other things that are possibly less important than how painful this is, this secret, I now understand it is actually super logical that they weren't dealing with these other things that I was seeing. Because there is more going on. There's more secrecy at the roots. And things are like in people's eyes and ears, they are so bad that they're not dealing with all the other stuff. You know, I know I'm being a little secretive about vague about what is going on, because I do need to protect like the reality of my life and my friends. Yeah, because this is now a process that just needs its time. And it's good also that people aren't forced into this radical honesty, that because there's an emotional process now. So now I want to tell you about the emotional process of when I hear a big secret that impacts my life and the people I love, my friends. So the bigger it is, the more I need to hold space for the person who is revealing, because for them it's the biggest. Like they've held on to this, and they've created a lot of patterns in their life that they don't realize, that are all about keeping things hidden. Like when you shut down a part of your own character in order to in a way that isn't healthy for your being, it will, like, you'll sink this one part of your consciousness, but it'll pull areas that are around that have any, you know, tie to that thing. It'll pull that down as well, and then you're having to like be aware of also these other areas. And so that's how it impacts this one person's life immensely. It warps their character. Depending on what it is and how long the secret is held there, it will have an immense psychological toll on this person. Insecurity and consequences of insecurities, or even narcissistic behavior can become a result of this, where people might think, okay, well, behaving like this is better than revealing the secrets, because that would be worse. A lot of times people keep secrets because they feel that the consequences would be too bad. Like sometimes people can't see all the consequences of what might happen. It's very, very often that people feel, if I reveal this secret, it will destroy my life and the life of lots of people, and like they can't even see all of the destruction that it'll cause. And it's like the whole thing, usually with secrets that are kept for a really long time, people don't think a lot about them because it's too painful, and so it just goes boom, like keep it in lock and don't look at it too much because it's too painful. But yeah, it will cause a person to not be able to be truthful about other things in their life, because that will show up that there is something that's, you know, being hidden. So they have to, they find all these ways that the character warps in order to keep this secret. And I want to be very, 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 very clear. When a secret is being kept, it's oftentimes that a person is doing that completely from a place of, I need to save everyone else, and I'll offer myself, I will sacrifice myself in order for others not to suffer. And a whole lot of other ideas get in that. And then of course you live life, and when people, if you become insecure, and maybe people will reject a person for all kinds of reasons, but not for the reality of what's going on. And they might actually start feeling like super angry, like because like their subconscious knows, I am carrying all this shit for these people, and they don't even respect me. I can say that is how I've really felt. I did a reading about a month ago, and one of the things that like a mantra that came out of that reading was, in order to stop being in this codependent energy, it was like it was in Dutch, so now I'm trying to translate the word pion, and pion is like being a like other people being able to move you around. So the mantra was, I am not someone that will be moved around for others to feel safe in a situation that is absolutely not harmonious. So what I mean with this is, like, if you're like in a constellation of people, like several people, that there's a truth that you know, and like for me, I have obviously gone to the depths and the roots of what is disharmonious and what would be more harmonious, and figuring this out. But that the reason why that happened is because the place where I was growing, this structure was so detrimental, so destructive to all the people in it, that every child that was born into that family line had to just be like molded into this unnatural straitjacket, to not be honest, and to not say things that are just like, this is not healthy, you know. And so all of these people are just being forced into this way of being, and being like, once you're like in the system, and you have no more boundaries, and you're not, and like there's no one listening to you as a child when you're saying, this is not okay, I don't feel okay about this, and they're just kind of moving you around so that other people don't have to deal with the reality of what there actually is. And I must say, like, in my family system, it's not like my parents were very aware. You know, there's a through all the generations of behaviors that shut down the capacity to have this awareness, to have emotional response. So the emotional response is shut down, and whew, yeah. And then the place that you see it is with children. When the children are growing, you see how they struggle and like rebel, because the system is being destructive to them so that they can fit. And this mantra that came through this reading, guys, this is not easy stuff. This is not happy, fluffy spirituality. This is the roots of and the and sorting out and figuring out what answers there are available. So in this reading, it was like, I don't accept to be moved around in this structure anymore to appease a fake harmony. And I know what energies are flowing here, and I am a channel for truth. And this is the power that I have. And I don't need to appease anyone. I can be diplomatic. I can use my skills. I can cater my message in the best way I know how. But I am here to be a channel for truth. And that means that I become more or less comfortable with making people uncomfortable. That is a whole journey in itself. And dealing and healing codependency means also coming to a place of acceptance that I will be making people feel uncomfortable, and codependency is the opposite. It's like, it's letting people feel more comfortable so that I feel more safe. So you can understand this is quite a big shift, and this is, I think, one of the reasons that for so many of us it is hard to come out of a codependent situation, because you might feel deeply that once you start telling the truth and knowing the truth of what you've seen, you can't go back. You can't go back and pretend that you can't unsee. But I hope that you also understand that it's really a journey, and the way on the internet that we're, there's so much talk and, and pointing and it's good to define what codependency and narcissism is, but it's not good to stay there, because we want to continue this process. Those of us who have been in that situation, that are healing ourselves, we might have so much power to change the world. I absolutely feel that I now have come to this place where my dear friend has revealed to me something so important. So she has taken this monumental healing step in revealing her secret, that I am like, this is so big. I'm in awe of what has happened. And I also know that I have done my inner work to come to the place where I can receive that story and not make it about me, and also deal with my own feelings around this. Um, yeah. The moment, the moment that the story hits the ear, there's a moment that goes, I'm expressing like my own process of this that I've experienced. It hits the ear and it's like everything goes silent because there's shock. And in that moment of silence, I can have like my heart felt like I'm glad that I'm compartmentalizing this right now, because I really want to be there for my friend. She needs in this moment someone who will be her rock, you know, and not flip out and not become super emotional about, you know, just the first thing, whatever and emotions is coming up, because sometimes this is about a lifetime of truth that they're revealing. And we just do preliminary things. We just say, you know, not ask too much, just feeling like, all right, what things are really important to rule out, like what are the parameters of this story. Not ask too much, really feel into the situation, like this is big, this is so big. I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna be really present. It's all about the other person and, you know, this heroic step that they're taking. Yeah, I'm just creating the space that whatever can come out right now, it can be there, and I'm just gonna have so much respect for them expressing, and just checking like how extreme is it on this side or on this side, just to get an idea. Really seeing the other person, like how are they doing, how, you know, are they getting through this moment. And to my brain was going, you know, in different directions, and I just kept calling my brain back and saying, you know, the most important is that my friend feels safe right now, because that's what they've been missing all of this time. And honestly, when people reveal secrets that are so deep, it's such a vulnerable moment. You know, it's you want to be the best person that you can be in that moment. I feel a lot of tears around this, because just feeling how much people have had to carry, you know, and that I've been in their lives, and and that they've been carrying this all this time, and I just have so much honor for the moment that they're able to tell the story. Like, I don't make it about me, you know. A lot of people can, this is a reason why people might not reveal their secret, is because they can feel if a person is gonna turn around and make it about them and somehow blame them, and are not able to hold their story, but will start like maybe feeling insecure themselves and start, you know, telling this person, why didn't you tell me this before? And it's like, I have seen that when I have told my story to people, the different kinds of reactions, and I can tell you how utterly just painful it is to tell my own story to people, having felt so much shame around it, and like being the victim of something so deep and violent, um, and then have people like minimize it and be like so many things that people react in order to just not have to take in the truth of what you've gone through and what I had gone through, in from just like actively telling me how it could not be true, how actively telling me like those things happen to people but it didn't happen to you, otherwise you wouldn't have been alive. Like, how did you even survive to be able to tell this? Oh, you must be a liar. You know, these are the kind of things that people face when they tell the truth about very, very horrendous things that they've gone through. And so if you are a pattern breaker, a cycle breaker, just know that when you start doing this, I don't know if you want this, but for me it is really important to be a safe haven for other people, to be able to express the things that are actually destroying their lives, and when they haven't found an opportunity to be honest. Like we really need human reflection. We need compassion. We need people to show us, to reflect back to us the reality of our stories. And in this case, like, without telling you details, there are things that people go through that they really need other people to just listen to them, to reflect compassionately, to be there for them and not make them feel crazy, not make them feel isolated, make them feel like this thing that happened to you is, I am here for you. I don't think you should ever have to go through that alone. I understand now that these years that you've had to carry this, that is totally not fair on you, especially for people like for myself, that things that have happened in my childhood, you know, before I was able to when I actually needed people to protect me, you know, and to feel so desolate. And it really comes like, you know, you could feel the victimization of that goes so far. It's so far in the psychology. And you know, maybe lots of people who come through codependent situations understand this, that there are secrets that that creates this situation, and that keep a person from keep a person in this mechanism where they're not supposed to tell, they're not supposed to have boundaries, they're not supposed to, you know, advocate for their own boundaries and safety. And it might be so deep in the family line, in the ancestors, that especially for women, but of course this could be all kinds of people and in all kinds of ways. You know, this is really the world that we live in, that so many of us experience other people using violence on us in order to have authority over us, and to not listen to really what our inner authority is. And so we get so far away from that. And you know, what I'm trying to do with this channel is to give some the way that I've experienced this and the things that I can see that are helping to move from the secrecy and codependency and not having boundaries to growing the emotional muscle, and just taking challenge by challenge to find where, how can I be in this situation? How can I respect myself in this situation? And it is so, everything that you do in growth in this has an effect. And I'm super excited to go more and more into human design to understand how this is for other designs. But I do know that for me, I tend to attract my life to me. And as soon as I release tension about something that I've now understood and I've now experienced and I've now been able to bring the wisdom from a situation, that my life changes and I get a nicer version of life. And this is where, you know, I've talked about before about the quality of trust. This is how it works in my life. I'm able to not feel like life's trying to beat me down. I can feel that there's this completely impersonal mechanism that is allowing me to experience life and for life to like get better and better and better. I feel like it's like a body of water where the water gets cleaner and cleaner every time I am able to clear up some dirt that shouldn't have been there, but that who I am as a pattern breaker, as a cycle breaker, I am the actual catalyst that is able to clean the water. And it's, I promise you, when you do this, the ripples out into the world, into your own world, depending on like what your human design is. Sorry, I'm realizing so many things, but you know, depending on the code that you are in this life, the role that you're supposed to play. Can you imagine that even as I'm telling this, and these are obviously very challenging things, and I am also going through very challenging emotions. I'll tell you a little more about that in a second. That I can still feel that I am doing exactly what I came to this life to do. And my heart opens more and more and more, like I'm exactly in the right place. I get to be there for someone I love dearly. I don't know, you know, what's gonna happen, what the future is gonna be like, but I'm gonna trust that I'm living my code more and more. And everybody wants to have power. We all want to have power, but it'll be very, very specific to our code, what our power is. So yeah. All right, guys, how do you like my tattoos? One of them is here, it's already fading again. This kind of keeps me on track. Like I am really being a specific code. I know what I'm here for. All right, how about my nails? Sorry, I just need to like lighten it up a little. Oh God. I should have played some music for myself in the background. Yeah, I don't like the energy to get stale. But yeah, just using this as a little interlude to get to, I think, the final thing that I want to talk about. So the secret came to my ear. Boom. Silence. I switch my attention, like, apparently there's nothing going on in my emotions at this moment. When I hear it, like, yeah. And I just switch, and I'm there for my friend. And I know it's a lot, but I don't feel it yet. And I trust everything will work out in its own time. Then later on, ideas start running through my mind. I'm like, what does this mean? And I have learned that my mind is not something that I need to give energy. It just does stuff by itself. And I just let it run in the background. And It helps if I have some emotions about what my mind is telling me, like, whoa, what about this and what about that and what about that part of the story? Like, whoa, what does this mean? Excuse me. This is like the kind of how tension comes out of the body. So when you see people who are able to really channel their energy, everyone has a different way of letting the energy move through them. And like for me, it's burping, getting gas out of my belly through my mouth. So I always need to talk to people who are close to me, who I know will vibe with me and be like, whoa, I really feel you. Thank you for, connecting to me so that I can be there for you. And like, wow, that's a lot. And yeah, and they're like in my safe zone. And they put down the energy of my safe zone for me. But the actual fact is that I wasn't able to talk to who was around me first, because these people that were around me in the first 24 hours they're very logical minded and not in the same way as that I need, connected to emotions. And so I started feeling very pressured and very tired. So it was kind of weighing down on me. And then it took a while for, like, I had some other friends over, and that was also okay because it meant that I wasn't dissociating or being lost in my own space, which is something that can happen if something is quite a big wave of energy, that some big themes are when they get revealed. And then, and this is the one I want to tell you about. So I'm at home alone. My strongest sense in my human design is taste. And I will put stuff in my mouth just to be able to emotionally deal with things, or to actually just like calm down my emotions. So I eat something, I go to sleep because I'm so tired. Then I wake up and I start calling some of the people that really help me to process things. And as soon as I am able to talk to a person who can feel me emotionally, the tears start coming, and I feel how it's connected in my emotions. And I start to feel this big, dense cloud of emotions, that's pressure in me, start to start to move through the tears. This is why it's so important to like get into the habit of allowing your emotions to flow, so that oh, this is what release really feels like. And yeah, I usually need to process with other people. And if things become too big for me to process, I will actually feel lost. And my mind will keep forgetting that there's something going on, that there's emotional pressure. This is something that from my past has been like the pattern of avoid it and just cope with it, and put your attention on something else. So this is a thing that I have to consciously learn. I've talked in other of the videos that I have a North Node, which is an astrological point in Cancer, and this sort of has this meaning of that, which means I have the South Node in Capricorn. And these energies of the, so my soul is actually knows a lot of the energy of Capricorn and the qualities of Capricorn, and is moving towards the qualities of Cancer. And the difference between them is that the Capricorn is very practical, is very much like show up for work, is not very emotional, can be very rational, can be very much like just do this thing, stay focused, don't complain. That's really a very Capricornian thing. And of course, those are qualities that can be used in positive and in negative ways. So I also have that in me, both of those. But then it's like my soul is completing all of that learning that the qualities of Capricorn are. It's like the Capricorn is also like the daddy. It's also a lot about sacrificing personal comfort for a goal, a high goal. And then it's like my soul is in how the north and south nodes work. The south node is like, maybe I've had previous lives, if that's something you philosophize with, if that fits into your philosophy system. It's like past lives of being this Capricornian qualities, but then it's like moving to something that my soul doesn't actually know how to do yet. And so there isn't like a destination that I have to get to, but in order for me to feel like I'm succeeding in my life, I can really feel, there's a Cancerian word, how I need to start learning to have emotions. And that the reality of where I'm really at is determined by how available I am for my emotions. Like, if there are emotions that I'm allowing the energy to flow. There's a lot more that I could say about Cancerian stuff. I did also feel like in the moment that I was, so this is the interesting about astrology, like once you start getting into like what these energies actually mean, and what they mean for your life, like what you're here to experience and to do and to taste, is that you start to notice in moments like, oh, I'm being a Cancerian right now. So when the thing was being revealed to me, I kind of I saw in the 48 hours afterwards, I saw myself like as if I'm this hard shell crab, right? Which is soft on the inside, but hard on the outside. Like as soon as like I was saying, like the secret came into my ear, it was like, whoop, hard shell. Like the Cancerian is also like a very empathetic and protecting its own, like protecting its clan. Like, oh, you're my family, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna, to like even negative aspects and going like, is someone attacking you? I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna attack that person. I'm gonna be like kind of mean to them because I need to show you that I'm protecting you. There's this whole kind of like, I gotta protect you. I'm being your mom. You're like, like, mama bear energy. That's very Cancerian. But I could tell like how I had these like crab pincers, and they're very hard, and it was like the like, if my friend is like right here and she's like told me the thing, and I'm like, and my pincers just went and grabbed her, like, all right, let's just freeze this moment, and I'm not gonna do anything with it. I'm just gonna listen to you. And there was this like, yeah, this paradox of like freezing the moment, like the shell of the crab, and the softness of being super empathetic, and then later being like, now after a few days, I'm like, oh, oh my God, that's so much emotion. There's so much going on in me now. And yeah, just being quite overwhelmed through it all. But like, there's this other aspect that is on the axis of Capricorn and Cancer, is that, man, are they fanatical, man, are they able to hold the line, like you're my person, I'm gonna protect you through everything. Capricorn as well is like, you need this to happen in your life, we're gonna do it, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna hold that line. It's like, it's very conservative in that way of like choosing the group that is like my group. and I'm gonna do this thing for you. And yeah, some days ago I had for the first time a kind of conflict with one of my friends, and it wasn't a conflict where like we're butting heads, but it was I was feeling very queasy about myself, because I knew that I had to tell my friend that I kind of had opposing ideas to hers, and it made me feel super emotional, because it was like, you're my clan, and oh God, I need to tell you this thing that I don't agree with you with this thing, and it is making me feel like I am shitting in my home, and I almost can't handle it. And she was like, it's so great that you're telling me this, and don't worry about it, we're gonna figure it out. And I was like saying these things to her, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, you know. And then I had to actually, that was like part of my coming out of the closet as a Cancerian. I mean, like, oh gosh, this is me. I'm like part of the premise of the conflict that I was feeling was like, oh, I want to be like a mom figure in this situation, but you're not letting me, because you're bringing other people into this situation and they don't feel safe to me, and I know it's your life, but I can't handle this. This is what I'm like, apparently, and I'm gonna be annoyed by like little things, and I'm gonna keep it in, which is also Cancerian. It's like, until I need to talk about it now, and then it's like, you know, the soft insides that are contained until it's like there's pressure, and then it's like, okay, now I need to talk about it, and it's like, oh, this hard shell, and be like, oh God, I have these crabby pincers, and I'm like, I don't want to hurt my friend, you know, and it's like, how am I gonna do this? And yeah, there can be a lot of insecurity around that. And in a different way, Capricorn can have that kind of insecurity. But yeah, so I'm learning emotions, and yeah, so I was in a pressured zone with myself. And then I had to call my friends, and they helped me to start to let the emotions flow. But the thing about these things is, that I think a lot of people do experience, and that maybe people don't know, that if something quite heavy happens to you and you're not really totally used to expressing your emotions, or there might be some reason why they're getting kind of stuck, and that you need a method in order for them to start flowing, that when they're not being dealt with, I feel like there's a lot of dissociation going on. And what that looks like is like being in your own space or with other people and being like, there's something going on, but I have difficulty connecting with it. And it's like you keep beating around the bush, and like, oh God, I hope I'm gonna find like the valve, you know, to let the steam out. But it's like, oh, I don't even know what it is. It's like, you know, and the mind can go make all these stories. Yeah, like just let the mind go, and try to stay as present as possible, and it'll be a work in progress. And I'm telling you this because it's been so many years of coming to the This is like the best I've ever done it. This is the most efficient that I've ever been at this. And my gratitude that I am now someone that can receive something that will help heal whole lineages. And I truly applaud anyone that is just listening to this, and maybe you have your own version of how you're being a sanctuary for others to be able to tell truth. And this is, we're operating in an imperfect world, and we're creating sanctuaries. Like, those places are needed, and we are the codes that came to offer that through our own process of shedding. And yeah, just thank you for listening to all of this, and bless you. And yeah, thank you, and see you next time.